Hi, we are the Three Gigs, three guys in glasses, except we're missing
My glasses
your
on.
glasses.
And we're 2/3 of 3 gigs.
We're 2/3, which,
Okay.
I don't know if it's guys in glasses or if it's
Yeah.
really a testimony to how many gigs of information we've forgotten.
Oh, yeah.
But whatever that all is,
Yeah.
we're down at least 1 gig
Yeah.
today. Paul, who's usually the subcontractor, is out in the world and
Educating others.
educating others.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm Craig. I'm going to play the owner.
And I'm Jim, and I'm going to play the contractor.
And today we're going to talk about critical path because that seems to be something that a lot of projects struggle with.
Yeah. Yeah.
If not actually knowing the critical path, being able to articulate it.
Yeah, yeah. Or actually show it maybe in red on the
Right.
schedule. Here's the things that are critical. Maybe we just define it, right?
What do you think it is, contractor?
I think it's a chain of activities in the schedule that have to be finished. Like this one has to follow, this one has to follow, this one has to follow this one. And that chain of activities defines the overall duration of the schedule. There's lots of other activities that could happen that don't necessarily have to happen right then to not cause a delay.
Right.
So
So they're linked.
yeah, yeah.
And
that's right, yeah.
a lot of these programs now, literally, you can push a button and you can have 300, 400 things
Yeah.
on the schedule, and you can push the button for critical path,
Yeah.
and it filters out everything but those things that are linked. Now, here's the only thing I would offer as an owner is I have to trust my contractor to be telling me what is reality, because the keyword is linked, right?
Yes. Yeah.
When you're building that, you could link windows to doorknobs and doorknobs to address, and those things become the critical path, and we lose plumbing, framing, all sorts of things.
The real critical path.
The real critical path. So the intent of a critical path is to have it be a real critical path.
Yeah, and it's things like you can't really start framing your job unless your concrete slab on grade is done.
Right.
You can't just stand the wood in the air,
Right.
So you have to have this activity finished to start the next activity. Is really,
and it may not be all slabs. Like if you've got 5 or 6 buildings,
yeah,
it would be, this is the critical path.
Yeah.
This one to this one to this one, and as these are done, then the next trades come in.
Yeah, and where it kind of becomes important is things like if there's a delay to the schedule, right? It's raining today, right? Well, if it's raining and we're pouring footings, yes, you can't pour footings in the rain. So that's a delay to the critical path. But if it's raining and your roof is on and you're working on the inside of the project and you're not sequenced to maybe do some work outside, it's not really a delay to the critical path.
And that brings up kind of, I think, the nuance between my world and your world.
Yeah.
So in my world, my contract with the general contractor is going to say that there is no delay unless it delays the substantial completion date.
Yeah.
So we all agree we're going to start on this date and the substantial completion will be on this date. Yeah. That's memorialized in our contract. And if there's any delays in there of things, I don't care. But you have subcontracts with subcontractors.
Yes.
And sometimes that language, I mean, if the painter is delayed in getting there because of something that wasn't their fault, maybe I just kept changing the colors, and nobody knew what to buy. And then when I finally said what to buy, it was a rush order, but it's still 3 weeks late. You're gonna need that painter to be done
still in this sequence.
Yeah. And that sub probably is going to come to you and say, I've been delayed. And if I'm going to do it now in half the time, I need more money.
Mm-hmm.
I need to work overtime.
Yeah.
There's a real impact to the sub. You guys have to hash out that delay to
Yeah.
the sub.
Or
and
how
I don't care.
resequencing, you
Right.
could resequence, right?
Right.
But there's a lot of ways to resolve that. But if that painter was part, his mobilization and finishing 10 units so the next trade could start behind him, that's a delay to the critical path.
Right.
Right.
Right. How things that aren't on the critical path
Yeah. Yeah.
all of a sudden get on the critical path.
Yeah. I like this example that, you're sequencing through your units and setting fixtures, let's just say sinks and toilets is part of this sequence of activities. And
Right.
someone says, well, that's part of the critical path. And when that happens, if it's early enough in the project, it's not necessarily on the critical path. You could wait until the last day to set
You
those
might
fixtures.
be pouring sidewalks
Yeah.
during that
Same time frame. The critical path is when they become critical for the job to be finished, right?
Right.
So some of those activities, they call it, have float. They can float here or there in your schedule, right? But at some point, they'll become part of the critical path
because there's no more flow.
required.
Right.
Required for occupancy. I
So-
like your idea of the address, the
Yeah.
building address.
I mean,
tell me that story one more
I had a
time.
project that was done. It was built. It was ready to go, but the inspector would not sign it off, which meant I couldn't move people into it.
Yeah.
Because our addressing on the building didn't meet their requirements.
And we're talking about the little numbers
Right.
that you screw into somewhere on the face of the building.
5 numbers,
Yeah.
wrong color, didn't
Yeah.
contrast with the wall enough, won't sign you off. So for a week we sat while we made new numbers and got them up.
So something so simple that could have been done, 2 months before that would have had a lot of float. People
Right.
we'll get to that later. Suddenly became the critical path.
The critical path.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the other takeaway with critical path is, you start your project with a critical path, but as life goes on, that critical path is going to be moving and shaping. And so from my perspective as an owner, when a contractor shows me a critical path and 8 months into a 2-year project, that critical path hasn't changed, I get a little suspicious. If it's a year and a half and it hasn't changed, I get really suspicious.
Yeah.
Something else has gone wrong.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Or they follow the schedule exactly the whole way through.
I'm not saying they're
don't know.
wrong. I just
Yeah.
get suspicious.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was critical path in construction. Hope you learned a few things and or refreshed. We're the 3 Gigs. If you like this content, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and we'll talk to you again later.
Thanks.